Hi everyone, Mary at Espresso Press Design. Thank you for joining me today, November 21st, 2024. Today we're going to make some pretty tabs, and I came up with this as I was trying to think of another circle punch project as I was scrolling through Pinterest and watching videos, and then I didn't write it down, and then I came down to try to remember my idea, and then I forgot that and came up with this. And then along the way I started thinking about the infamous whale tail, and I kind of realized it wouldn't be worth it. It would only be 10 minutes if I just did a couple. So I came up with as many ideas as I could. So they're just little tabs that you can make pretty much using simple shapes. There's a couple clam shells here. Actually, there's 3. I did one for Christmas. So there's 3 clam shells, a stitched faux whale tail, and others made with squares. And they can be any depth, any size square, like this. So you will need, and you can top your tags if you want with them. You can do all kinds of things with them. Poke a hole, don't poke a hole, put them on journal cards, tags, and I even have another thing here. Where'd my circles go? I lost them already. For an ornament, if you do ornaments, here it is. If you were always looking for a way to do an ornament topper, that will be pretty. Let me put that on a different circle. A scallop will work perfectly on a ornament if you want. You know, that's a nice simple Christmas card design to do ornaments. So you will need squares, any size. I'm probably going to work on larger sizes so that you can see clearly. You will need circles. I do not have a 2-inch punch, so I used my circle dies. These are 2 inches. To do the clam shells, you're going to need scalloped ovals or scallop circles. And you can use a scallop punch, which is what I did the Christmas cards with, or not Christmas, Christmas tags with. That's the scallop punch. So your best friend is going to be a crosshair. That is what is going to help you align your circle sides perfectly, instead of having to do each side individually, hoping you get them lined up. That's going to help you do that. So I'm going to start with the clam shells and the scallops. In a way, they're the easiest. And so you'll need punches and corner rounders. I forgot to say that. So it's pretty much just simple tools. and basically just using your punches and your corner rounders to get specific effects on each one. So I have an oval scallop, and I'm going to fold it in half, perfectly in half. And that's vertical. And then I'm going to fold it in half again, making sure my crosshair line is lined up perfectly. Otherwise, when you fold it the other way, the circles are not going to be aligned, and you'll have to do a repair. Okay? So might not be able to see that, but there is a crosshair in there. And if that bothers you at the end, I'll show you how to get it out. So I honestly can't remember if I took I'll just take my 1.5 inch punch, I think, and do this so I can maneuver it in here. The side that goes in your punch is your open book size. Open book side, always. Okay? Now this one, this punch, not that one, this one, I have little Sharpie marker lines to show me where my center is. This one I don't, but I have a little line that's engraved in there. And I'm just going to line my crosshair line up with that center. Make sure I am perfectly centered, and then give it a punch. So I have what I'm going to call is my apple. And there you go. There's your scallop, and each side of that circle is even. Each side of that curve is even. So this doesn't need any repairs. There's your scallop. And then if that fold bothers you, you just take something, your bone folder, your brayer, just rub it out. You don't even really see it. Okay? So that's the clamshell, oval clamshell. The scallop circle is the same. This is a 2-inch scallop circle. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold it. Get my vertical. Make sure my lines are lined up before I fold the other crosshair line. I'm using file folder here, so it doesn't always want to fold well. Okay. I see my line. I have my open book. And I'm probably going to use my 1-inch punch for this. I have a little dot in the center that helps me align. And I'm just going to make sure that's correct. Because you'd be surprised how often you try to fold a crosshair and your lines aren't aligned. Okay. Well, if this isn't aligned, I'll show you what will happen when it's not aligned. And I'm going to put it in there, I don't know, about a third. Again, I have my apple, fold it the other way. Okay, there's my circle clamshell. That one is a tiny bit off, but I can, if you have to, just take your punch back in there. Give it a little haircut if those curves aren't even, so you can repair, and then just buff out your vertical line. And there's your scallop clamshell circle. Okay, there's 1, 2. Then I guess we'll do the infamous whale tail. And here it is. I know it's not exact, but this takes 5 seconds, and I personally wouldn't spend that much time on a whale tail. If I really cared, I would buy the punch, because time is money. In my humble opinion. See, there's a book folder. Folder doesn't fold very well. So I'm going to burnish these. Just because it's important to get both of those lines always lined up. And get your crosshair. Okay. There's my crosshair. Open book. And I'm going to take my 1-inch punch, line it up. Okay. Now there are 2 ways you can do this. That one needs a little, okay, they're pretty well adjusted. There, I just have a simple circle. The easiest way is to just take your scissors and make a tiny curve in around that top point of your apple curve. And there you have your whale tail. And then you're going to take your corner rounder. I think this will fit in my 1-inch corner rounder. And then you're going to take, I'm going to have to come up here, this little corner, tuck it in there. Don't cut anything else off except a sliver of that corner. Don't cut anything else off your curve or you're going to lose it. Just round that little corner a little bit. You can tuck it in either side of your curve around your corner rounder. Don't catch any other part except that little corner. And there you go. Okay, that's my version of a whale tail. Hi, it's me again. I knew I was going to forget something about that whale tail, and I think I did. And just a note reminder, you know, these tabs, they're not just for toppers. They can be used for page edges too. Dividers. I'm sure you know that, but just in case. So back to the whale tail circle. I'm going to do this again. And before the last time I said that it's easiest to take your little scissors. There, that came out even both sides. Take your scissors. For lack of a better term, I'm calling this my apple curve. Take your scissors on that top curve right there and make a little corner round cut. But you can also put that in your punch, corner rounder I mean. And do it that way. Just make sure there is nothing else in there except your point. And there you have a perfect curve. And there's your little whale tail. Let me get something dark there. There's your little whale tail. Let me do the other side. Let me even that up. You can go in either side, whichever's the most comfortable. You have a little curve. You have a little curve around your corner rounder. Use that little curve if you don't want to cut it with scissors. But do not get anything in there except that tiny point, or you're going to cut into your apple curve and then you're going to mess it up. So there you go. There's one curve. And it'll come back in. Catch the center of that curve with a tiny point. Hopefully you can see that point. Don't catch anything else. You're going to mess it up. And ask me how I know. Just catch a hair of that point so you can round that sharp point. And then there is your whale tail, my version. But either way, it takes 5 seconds. Buff out your line. And there's your stitched whale tail. Okay? I knew I was going to forget something. And there's the other one, the hand cut one. And honestly, you can't tell the difference. So either way you want to do it. Okay, everyone, sorry about that. 5 seconds and done. And then you can just buff things out. And then I'm going to show you another trick if it really bothers you. So there's the stitched whale tail. And now I know that that line is a little, that space is a little more elongated on the official whale tail, but that's good enough for me. Okay, the next one, you're going to need a square. And this is so easy. Any size square, doesn't matter. But I'm going to do it on a large one for the sake of demonstration. You're going to do the same thing. Get a crosshair in your square. Put page side. Goes into the punch. Give it a punch. Make sure these are even. Then we are going to take a corner punch, and I am going to take my 1 inch because this is a large piece, and we're going to cut the corners in our circle half, in our circle edge. Line your point up. Line your point up. If your corners aren't cutting correctly in your corner rounder, it's because your point's not lined up. So I always do mine this way so I can make sure that's correct. Unfold, fold the other way. Okay, now here's an example of one that needs a haircut because the wasn't lined up properly. So I'm just going to take my punch, find that edge that's off, just like if you have to correct a notch. Whoops. And just give that a little trim. And there is, depends on the size of your square, can be any size. But I'm doing it large for you to see. And then another one. This one in particular, I took my fancy corner scallop edge punch, and instead of doing a corner rounder, I did the fancy corner on that one. So that's another option. And then there was something else I wanted to try. Okay. I don't know if that would work. No, it wouldn't work because I can't get any other corner in there. So let me try a paper punch. I just was curious what this might look like if I did another fancy edge in there with a paper punch. Just try to get them as symmetrical as you can. That's not bad. So just play around, see what you come up with. And that's your square. any size. I'll do a smaller one here for you. So see, this video is 21 minutes and I already have a whole box full of these. Good way to use up scraps for something you might actually use. That's what I've been happy to find out this as of late. How to make things from scraps and store them that I'll actually use. And tabs is an all-time favorite. Again, open book side in the punch, line up my horizontal line with the center, and you can go in as far as you want with your punch. That's another thing. Get my 1/2 inch corner rounder since this is smaller. Line up my point in the center. Let me see if I can get this corner in here. No, I already did it. I can get a smaller corner in there. Let me think of what would happen if I do that. That one needs a little haircut too. Okay. Why not? Let's just see what would happen if we do this side too. Because I'm not really sure until I see. Okay, well, that's different. There you go. There's another. That would look cute. That would look cute surrounding a reinforcer. Okay, there's another one. I came up with another one. Okay. Let me get this buffed out. Just take your punches and your corner rounders, fold. As long as you punch the right side, you're going to get a tab. You can do regular tag corners. You can do all kinds of things. So you're just, wait. There's your book page fold. You're going to open it up and fold it the other way. And that's all this is for each one. 2 folds. One you punch, and then when you're done, you just fold it the other way. Okay. Actually, that's kind of cute. I'm going to keep that in my idea file. So, okay, that's any size square, and you can get any size tab. Okay, like that. I'll show you. That was made with a square, and that was made with a square. So all those are just different size squares. Okay? Okay, last but not least, I did not get a piece of paper, so I guess I'm just going to use this. Here's my scallop. Got a scallop. This is 1.5 inch. Wish I had a 2 inch of that as well. This one's a little more difficult. Well, not more difficult, but just a little different than the other scallop. Get your fold. You do not have to burnish those, but I am, just because when you're not lined up, things go awry. So these are cute, very cute. And obviously, I'm probably going to take my tiniest one here, maneuver it in there, get my line lined up with my center dot. Give it a little punch, fold it the other way, and there's my tiny scallop. That's why I did not do these with my regular circle punch, because you wouldn't have seen anything. So everything was larger. And I'll try to remember here. This is 2 inch, but I went down as small as 1.5 and 1 1/4 to do the squares, and I didn't have any major problems getting it into a punch, a 1 inch punch. You might have to push it in with your paper a little bit, with a piece of paper, but when you get to this part, about right here, you can usually grab it, provided you have these same punches. Okay, so that was the one that was on my Christmas tags. Cute little tags here. And I just want to say, see, as you can see, I have a whole box full already. I just want to say, if it really bothers you that you folded, you can just take an embossing folder and emboss that out. If your line bothers you, because sometimes it does show up a little more on cardstock, and buffing out didn't work, just take your little tab and emboss it, and those folds will be disappeared. Okay, so another tip. Hope everyone's doing well. Guess what we have today? Snow. Seems a little early, depending upon what decade you're in, I guess. But we were supposed to get 3 to 5 inches, and last night was so windy and rainy that trees were down all over the place. Firemen were out all evening clearing, and electric went out. I thought, wouldn't that be the ticket? I get my new furnace, and then the electric goes out. So I got all that done yesterday. Very happy. Everything is safe. Everything's working fine. I don't know if I told you they turned it off because it was leaking carbon monoxide, but I'm not dead, so it wasn't leaking that much. So these little things, once you cut them out, It's very helpful if you take the time to do your reinforcements while these are in this condition rather than store them. So that's just another tip. Since you have everything out, you might as well do it. And then you can just throw that away. I will trim off that little piece of waste, excuse me. So just come down and have a play, because as I was down here I thought I can make my own little scallop reinforcements too. And have a bunch of those. And I can come down and, so there you go. If you do your scallop, and then you want to put another little reinforcement over there, or just store them. Just do it all at the same time. And then I also just started cutting up a bunch of these to store for ready make time. So make some tabs, make some reinforcements. Just get out your circle punches. Get out your corner rounders. Use up your scraps. And make some pretty little tabs. Any style that you find helpful or that you like. You know, this is somewhat Victorian. And remember these little scallops. Where's my new one? These little scallops. I can put that on another scallop. Make a nice little toppers for your ornaments if you're doing Christmas cards. Actually, I like the oval one better. I don't know where it went. But okay. Okay, everyone. Hopefully you can see all this. I should probably bring it up on a piece of white paper for you to see properly. So there we go. 2, 3 clam shells, squares, stitched whale tail. Whoops, faux whale tail. That didn't work very well. I really need to get a mat down here so I can do this properly for you. Love that clamshell. Okay, there you go. 35. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5 types of pretty tabs. Okay, thanks for your time, everyone. Everyone have a great week, great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for your time again. Bye.